Dereck Lively II has had an excellent start to his career so far, notching some interesting playoff records in his rookie season, and has served as one of the most important Mavericks in their current trip to the NBA Finals this season. Dereck Lively currently has the second highest plus-minus in a single playoff run for any rookie, just behind Manu Ginobili, and he set the record for the most field goals made in a single series without a missed field goal attempt. Lively has been a great running mate next to Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and has done such a great job complementing them during this playoff run on both ends of the floor. In 25 minutes per game in this playoffs, Lively has posted averages of 8.5 points, 7 rebounds, a block, and an assist and a half per game, while shooting on an impressive 66% overall from the field. It should be recognized that Dallas pretty much tanked the last stretch of games in their previous season to avoid making the play-in, leading to the draft pick that ultimately became Dereck Lively. And so with that in mind, I'm sure management can be pretty happy that the risk they took last season paid off, and now that they've reached the NBA Finals with a rookie being such a big part of what they do, there's a lot to be happy about. And Dereck Lively has been one of the most underrated players during this entire playoff stretch. He's gotten a lot of media attention, and now he is one of the premier role players in the NBA with an incredible ceiling going forward. So as I mentioned, Lively has been one of the most efficient players in the playoffs, and catching lobs has been the main reason for that. Luka and Kyrie, obviously both amazing passers, have both developed great chemistry with Lively, and his timing when rolling to the basket has synced up insanely well with the different coverages that the Wolves have thrown Luka's way. If they switch, Lively can use his speed to outpace a backpedaling guard or body him, sit in the dunker spot, and then if Luka draws a double, he can run the floor in transition or even jump over a smaller defender to score. He's great at using his body to work over defenders. He has a lot of different ways to use his body to catch different lobs. And so he has a great vertical as well, and is tough as nails, so he can finish over the best rim defenders. Last series against the Wolves, and then even before that against the Thunder, and then even before that against the Clippers, he faced off great rim protectors and Rudy Gobert, Chet Holmgren, and then obviously Ivica Zubac, and had no trouble working his way around them, as well as finishing over them, catching those pinpoint lobs from two of the best passers in the game. And so the bulk of Lively's shot attempts are dunks. Pretty much all of them are at least within a few feet of the basket. And as you can see, he's an insanely tough cover for that reason, especially as a 7'1", 7'2" center with a high vertical. And then moreover, as a screen and roller, he creates heavy mismatches for defenders to deal with, especially when Luka Doncic is the ball handler in that situation. A lot of these times, the defenses are going to have to pick their poison, especially come playoff time. And with the Luka magic that he does, he kind of pulls a dump off for a lob out of his bag of tricks and finds Lively and Gafford as well for easy dunks.
In the series, floater from Wallace, no good. Rebound Lively. Dallas ball down 3, nearing 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of Game 6. The Mavs leading 3-2. Lively on the cut and the finish. Big Game 2. Off the bench to help the Mavs win. 17 points in that victory. The lob was open, puts it on the floor, and missed it. Lively down.
Oh, another banger!
Retrieves it. Irving, cutter, Lively, look out! Shake, bake, dish, slam, Lively, plus the foul. 3-point game. Dallas has gone 3 minutes without a point. Doncic takes it upstairs, Lively.
Jalen Williams to replace him. Meanwhile, the Mavs over the last 14 minutes have just 6 points.
Oh, there you go.
3 rebounds. Ahead to Hardaway. Lob for Lively.
One thing that really excites me about Dereck Lively is his work in the short roll, especially in that Game 5 against the Timberwolves when they were trapping Luka Doncic. Lively's ability to just simply be around the three-point line in that short roll, kick it out to an open shooter on the wing, was crucial to the massive offensive downpour that the Timberwolves exhibited in Game 5. And although he didn't make different reads or even difficult ones, that pass alone opened up so much for them and could be the key to a potential finals win for the Mavericks. So in that Game 5 against the Timberwolves, Dereck Lively was directly involved in every single Luka Doncic made field goal while he was on the court, and he's racked up a solid amount of assists throughout the entire playoffs so far with his DHO game. And on this next play, he'll end up using a Gortat screen to get Luka a good shot. This is something he did on Gobert a few times and does it on Rudy Gobert again here, which was crucial in neutralizing this Defensive Player of the Year in the paint. Here Lively saves the ball, gets a fast break going, and then uses yet another Gortat screen on Rudy Gobert, which allows Luka to pull off some Luka magic, find an open shooter in the corner while the defense is in dominoes. And even simple DHOs from Dereck Lively can get Luka the switches he wants. Here you can see him getting it on Karl Towns, scoring pretty easily. His offense has been really underrated and not very talked about because it doesn't show up a lot in the stat sheet other than the points and the efficiency, but his actions as a screener, an off-ball screener, and even a little bit of an indirect passer and assist man getting those hockey assists from times has been super important for the Mavs in this playoff run. Not only that, but Dereck Lively's ability to crash the offensive glass makes me want to call him Derek Keeps the Play Alive Lively. He has a real edge to him on the glass and really fights for each rebound. Additionally, rather than simply putting up a risky, potentially low percentage contested shot on the putback like many inexperienced centers often do, Lively looks for one of the two top dogs and Luka and Kyrie on the perimeter to not only keep the play alive, but get a second chance at the play. And so with this simple work, Lively gives the Mavs another opportunity at getting a bucket with a much higher probability than it could be. And in the playoffs, every possession truly matters. And so having somebody who can fight for those offensive rebounds and do it at such a high rate is extremely invaluable. A guy like Lively for the Mavericks is crucial because they don't have a lot other than him and Gafford really crashing the glass. It has been an absolute block party all playoff long for Dereck Lively, and his work on the defensive end has really saved Dallas at times. His knack for rim protection has given him the ever important rim deterrent status, and even when switching on the perimeter, he's been nimble enough to hold his own, which has been crucial. He's been an excellent defensive rebounder too, and loves to hit that look-ahead pass, which gets one of the slowest paced offenses started early on in the shot clock. And so for Lively, effort and energy have really paired well with his intangibles and measurables and have made him a force to be reckoned with on the highest stage as a rookie.
I thought it was going to lead us to a discussion on Big East basketball and Providence in particular, which we could get into later. Excellent report there, Jared. Wiggins is in. Lively gets a piece. Wiggins turns it over. He put it off his foot. Gilgeous-Alexander, attack mode. And he's blocked by Lively.
Clock is right now at 4. Edwards gets by Kai, goes by Green, finds Gobert.
Love to get this down to about 10 at the half.
Edwards in the paint. Reed has got 4 threes in a row. And Gobert. By Conley twice inside. It's picked up. Mavericks run. Long three, no. Rebound on the ground, Gobert. Lively.
And so when thinking about how Dereck Lively could impact this finals, the very first thing we need to talk about is the role that Kristaps Porzingis' health and playing form factors into this equation. And so since Porzingis is much more nimble and larger than Al Horford, I would expect him to be the guy who does a lot of the potential trapping on Luka and Kyrie instead of Al Horford. And so I personally believe that the Celtics are probably very much afraid of Luka in the pick and roll, and I can probably expect that they won't do a lot of switching unless it's wing to wing, guard to guard. But Joe Mazzulla loves to put his bigs into drop coverage, and so that's something I'll expect they probably do again to try to neutralize the lob threat and serve as somewhat of a middle ground between a Luka floater and a Luka pass. But the thing about the drop coverage is that it's not a perfect solution, and it's definitely not all or nothing. Trying to play both ways here means that Luka, especially as one of the top guards in the league, can pick it apart. And so with that being said, I think the Dereck Lively experience will feature a lot of lobs and a lot of dunker spot dunks, very similar to what we've been seeing. I would expect Luka to kill the step back and floater game that he uses so well, especially over a backpedaling Al Horford, Xavier Tillman, maybe even Luke Cornett, and I think Porzingis could be thrown in there as well. I genuinely don't think there's any big man in the drop coverage that can really handle Luka at this point, and as we've seen even against the Wolves, they've tried trapping in half court, they've tried blitzing, they've tried switching. Luka Doncic is truly on fire this playoff series, and it's going to be hard to stop. But back to Lively, since a lot of what Lively does on the offensive end, and what anybody on the Mavericks team does on the offensive end, is so reliant on Luka, I think Luka's ability to torch the drop coverage, which the Celtics almost exclusively run, will help Lively a lot. And so I think, like I said, he'll catch a bunch of lobs. And with that being said, in general for Dereck Lively, I think he'll only continue to get better as the playoffs and now the finals progress. And who knows going forward over the years in his career. I personally feel like he's already one of the top role players, and he's playing next to one of the best passers and teammates potentially of all time for a big man. And I feel like the sky is currently the limit for Dereck Lively. I could see him at this point jumping up to a perennial all-star. You know, he's never going to be the off-the-dribble three-point shooting guy that apparently people were thinking he could be out of high school. But, you know, there is a very long career ahead of him, especially as a high-value role player for years to come. I'm super excited for the future of Dereck Lively, and I can't wait to see how he plays in the finals. Expect a lot of lobs, a lot of dump-offs, and some great defense as well.